shut up, you listen to my monkey mouth. There's a companion when you got pun on the canoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight, Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.
All right, welcome to SUYL, man. I'm Elias.
This is Joshua.
I'm guest speaker Anthony.
All right,
Yeah.
let's clink to this this one, man.
Cheers, everybody, to
cheers,
SUYL.
cheers.
Know what I'm talking about.
All right, man. So I want to welcome you, man. I'm so glad to have you in the studio. What do you think of the studio? Ask everybody who comes in here.
I love it, man. Whenever I first came in, it's dope. It's a dope setup. You know, you got your basic anime stuff. You got your UFC merchandise. You got a TV setup and snacks.
Bro, that's
snacks galore.
That's a signed glove by Francis Ngannou.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, we got our personality
Chris got me
corners,
that.
man.
Really?
Yeah.
Bonnet?
Yeah.
That's fucking...
Did it on my son's birthday. Totally overshined the entire party.
Yeah, he brought the best gift for ever, you know. So I love it, man. Like we have a lot of fun here. We've done podcasts with comedians. We've done podcasts with
Mixed martial artists.
And now we got
Friends
coming in, chefs, all different kinds of people.
Cowgirls.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit.
SUYL lives in this like strange kind of universe, man, where we just try and get in as many people as we can to have fun and just kind of talk about goofy shit in the Matrix.
I mean, the initial idea was what makes you happy, what makes you sad, and what gets you out of bed in the morning, and it's kind of just leaning into kind of pop culture stuff as well. Like that's the flavor that it leans into.
Yeah, I think like it kind of works for whoever's here. So like when it was like definitely Craig, he was definitely all about like what gets him out of bed in the morning, what gets him pumped and psyched, and he kind of exuded this like great positivity about everything that he loved about MMA. And mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu, and it was just amazing.
Well, I love this setup, man. Everything about it is just positivity is my biggest thing. And from knowing Josh my whole life and Elias as well, you know, we've known each other since like grade school, man.
Yeah, man.
I
think my mom like taught you in CCD.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so, like,
I knew that we went to the same church.
Yeah,
we went to the same church as well.
So like it's just one of those things, man. It lives in this like we definitely live in this this amazing community that kind of kept us all close knit. I mean, I live in the one town over from where I graduated, and basically, you know, every pivotal point in my life happened, and it's pretty awesome, you know.
And that's what I love about you guys, is that, you know, it's just positivity, and it's contagious.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's a podcast after that, you know, of course, when you guys invited me, you know, I wanted to be a part of it.
We were so happy about it. I mean, we were basically saying if we're not celebrating 100 views, we're not doing our best.
Yeah, I mean, you almost feel kind of silly trying to pop a bottle of champagne for getting to 100 views on YouTube, but it was a milestone. You know, the thing that made it cool is that we weren't expecting to get there.
We weren't, man.
You know,
I'm at my day job.
Yeah, you know, and I've got some Konoha companion videos that have been up for almost a year, have 50 views. You know, so whenever we pop one up and in 10 days it doubles my second highest video that I've ever produced on YouTube, it felt pretty cool.
And I'm like, bro,
it exceeded expectations, so we decided to celebrate. I think that anytime that reality exceeds your expectations, that's a proper justification for celebration.
Honestly, so, man. I mean, like I said, I'm at Walmart, like literally texting them every 30 minutes. Got another view. Bro, got another view.
That's a beautiful part of the journey, is like the milestones. And I know right now that like even hitting 5 views, I bet in the very beginning was, you know, just exhilarating, and now you're at 50. And I think the beautiful part about it, and I think I talked to you guys before about it, is like all the successful YouTubers out there started in the same boat with the same mistakes that you know they made, and they're successful because of how long they were doing it.
I mean,
it's something that I've been saying a lot. We're going to go back and look at our first podcast and laugh at it. And if you go look at, I mean, any content creator that you can think of that like is your favorite content creator right now, they've been doing it for a long time, and go look at the videos they were first producing. It's fucking garbage. They were doing garbage. They were just the first people doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the funny thing is like this guy's right here is like, there's not gonna. If we're here, we're producing content, and if we're not, then it's a day wasted. Mm-hmm. Like we produce content. Content is what we produce. Let's produce content. You know, and I live in this like you know I'm with this, you know, my swamp toad over here keeping me humble.
The esoteric and magical swamp frog.
Swamp frog over here, who's basically keeping me keeping my nose to the grindstone. I mean, we're not checking each other hard, but we're making sure that we both do it. Like, I was up here yesterday.
This is a real thing. There has to be accountability being maintained.
I mean, I'm up here yesterday working on the flyer. Shout out July 9th. Everybody come out.
Yeah, which, guys, y'all have to hear it here on the podcast or from Mikey on social media, because I caught a 30-day ban on fucking Facebook. I mean, if you're on like a Twitter or Instagram, you can still see it. But I get in these shit posting groups where like me and like 6 other people wind up really clicking up and like making memes and talking shit and having fun. And one of my fucking little, like, you can't really call him a friend, right? Because you don't know him, right? Well, you're someone who you post memes back and forth. They're like an internet associate. Yeah. Right?
I like that, internet associate. He wears a bow tie as he's naked on the...
Internet acquaintance.
There you go. Yeah, an internet acquaintance. And, I don't remember where the fuck I was going with that.
So you were basically got banned because you were saying you were going
to...
you said you were going to do something.
they made a meme that was so bad that I said that it gave me a stroke and they owed me money and I was going to take it right out of their wallet. And that comment right there was like, I guess because I said I was going to take the money out of their wallet.
You got Zuckerberg?
Yeah, I stay Zuckerberg, bro. Well, listen, I've had to make an alternate account, so now I can go.
No, he doesn't. It's not him. It's actually
Mr. Barnett.
Yeah.
Josh Barnett. Not Josh Barnett,
really
motherfucker.
It's not Josh at all. It's a really humble guy out in the woods, and he's really chilling.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels a lot like Josh Barnett, but it's not.
But so now I can go and interact with my shitposting groups with that dummy account, so that if I ever get taken down, it's not gonna take down my podcast. It really bothers me right now that like I'm producing content. So like the Once Who Woke Up podcast that we just did, I'm not even gonna publish that for a while until I can actually get it publicized on the proper on Facebook as well. And so we're like a couple weeks out on even seeing the light of day. But I plan on never having them go down again because my actual regular Facebook profile isn't going to be going down for talking silly shit and comments of my friends.
On top of that, we're going to house it on our own web page, so that's one thing.
Yeah, well, I'm saying is I just can't post, right? Like I can't go out and like get publicity. Like I have 400 friends on social media, right? Yeah. And so like that's like where a lot of our views and traction are coming from at the current moment, and so I want to make sure that I at least get that.
You'll never guess what got me a 30-day ban. You ever seen Buster Scruggs, or at least the meme from Buster Scruggs where he's deleting himself and he looks over to the guy and he's like, first time?
Yeah, they're both in the gallows about to get hung.
Franco?
Yeah. I posted that like, dude, a year ago, 2 years. Buster Scruggs is like old, and like they like someone commented on it, like said something on it, and I guess it just popped back up and like they just like it got picked up in the algorithm. They were like, you can't go live for 30 days and you can't post something or other.
I would highly recommend Twitter, man. Twitter is a cesspool that you guys can thrive in.
Yeah.
After hearing these stories and after being on Twitter for years, I can tell you from firsthand experience that you guys would thrive there. And it's just a great community with laughs. And
listen, we're going to truthsocial.com. Meet us on Truth Social. It's
fucking everywhere. Fucking everywhere, gentlemen.
You see us on 4chan, guys?
We have an entire 4chan thread going. We should fucking do that. Just get a monkey mouth thread going on 4chan.
Oh man, I don't even want to. I don't want to.
Oh, you just got to post and ghost. You never look at the QAnon trolls who are going to comment and participate.
No, man, we got them in office now. Right now, we're cool.
If Mark Zuckerberg is listening, I don't know if you heard, but the guy you banned, he has a burner account, Mr. Barnett. So go ahead and deactivate that one as well.
God, please deactivate it. I swear to God, whenever I see that goddamn reptile in real life, I'm going to teabag the shit out of him.
You can't, man. He's going to be Kabuki Theater in that white face. These were talking about his style. But, okay, man, so, like, we were talking about, I made a, I don't know, I thought it was a funny meme. It said when you order a truck of crackers, and then it's just a bunch of white guys in a cracker, in a U-Haul. And that was making fun of those the neo-Nazis trying to break up, or trying to basically riot a really small town pride parade. And I guess like homeboy was still living with mommy and got kicked out of his house. But apparently he had spiraled because his dad came out as like a homosexual, or just became part of the community, and he spiraled. And he started finding these groups that were like basically stroking that like
little echo chambers
Yeah,
What a
on
like-
silly reason to like hate the LGBT.
Well, he probably already
Yeah.
hated
He had
him, and
hated
then
him.
and then his dad like was the thing that since more
the
of the
catalyst that set him off. But like, I mean,
So ridiculous.
I mean, who has that much hate?
Exactly.
Like, who has that much hate for real?
Exactly.
and it's so funny, man. We come from a small ass community filled with a ton of like shit kickers, and now they're all smoking Delta 8 and have kids who are in the community, and it's literally hard to hate. Like, it's hard to like find that hate. And we come from like, people think that Texas is so close-minded. They're like, well, you find a lot of comedians, they'll say like, man, once you leave Austin it gets scary. I'm like, bro, it's not
Austin's expanding it.
it's not as scary as people make it out to be, you know. It's like a lot of that stuff is getting sanitized.
I mean, man, you go far enough out into the sticks. You go out to Heiko. You know what I'm saying? Out to places like that where they have the country corner coffee.
Ah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean-
With 3Ks, like they're not hiding it. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what the thing about it is that
So those guys actually are one of the only businesses ever to be regulated by the federal government to change their name. So now it's actually the country corner cup or something, but it's with 3 C's. But if you go out to Heiko, they're still there. And you know they're having their little clan rallies there. I
But
want a
the thing
Molotov
is-
cocktail that place so bad.
The thing is
Free
that
brick every week.
I don't know if I told you. I like that. That's the racism I can get behind. Out in the open, know thy enemy.
Oh yes. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess I ain't as mad at it as being a closeted bigot. Like at least
That's what I'm saying.
at least you are who you are, and I can know.
No way to
'Cause-
avoid.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, doesn't nothing bother me more than being in a closed room with nothing but white men, and they start trying to like
They're nudging you.
they start trying to do that shit. I would tell you what, I won't. There's family that I won't go see to this day because they try to talk racist shit around me. Talking, you a dude named Jay Bubba, who's 5'3", has 4 total teeth in his head, and smells like onions, trying to tell me how he's a member of the superior race over the race that includes LeBron James. Like, bro, are you kidding? That guy would kill you with his dick. I don't fucking tell. His teeth are pearly white. He's well educated. He's fucking super athletic, super smart. Like, would blow your fucking old lady's mind in the sack. Like, in what way are you fucking actually superior? And they'll go, well, we're part of the race who runs the planet type shit. And it's like, bro, you're a fucking sack of taters, bro. You got sprouts coming out of your ears, bro.
That racism is definitely not predominantly in Caucasian people. Like being an Hispanic and coming from an Hispanic family, generations were racist before this new generation came, and it was taught down to us. But it's the job of this new generation, like we did, is to break that cycle of hate and racism.
I contribute a lot of like the lack of racism coming from my dad. Like he's and like he man, my dad's an old fart, dude. He's not young, but like he had to sit down with one of my cousins, father, and be like, you'll love that person came out as gay and then came out as trans and now is living their best life and is happy with a wife and a kid and a job, and I'm so glad that they're here. And my dad was literally like shaking homie and like being like, love him because you love him, not because of anything else. And to know my dad was like, my dad's gonna hold it down for me like that, and he didn't have to worry about none of that with me. But to know that he was willing to hold it down for me like that, the way he was for my cousins that were living in this kind of like having to live in this weird place of not being accepted, and then him helping that person come around for that acceptance. And man, my that's cool, man. I can appreciate that,
I mean,
just one thing about it is that with the rate, like I cannot tolerate racism at any point, whether it's like subtle, whether it's hidden or not. But your brother said it best, is that I like racists being openly truthful about who they are, so I know which direction to spit in. And that quote has always stuck out to me. Like, yeah, you know what? If you're gonna be racist and a piece of shit, then
shout out the fisherman for like having a strong moral compass.
Yeah, Kev
Fish, Blowfish, man. That bull had a baby yesterday. Him and Savannah had baby number 3.
Congratulations!
I'm a motherfucking
I had to congratulate
uncle.
the uncle because I couldn't get to the papa, but I'll throw him on the Facebook. Congrats.
Yeah, well, I mean, he'll probably hear this. So Kevin will never listen to this episode.
Yeah.
So
Now he's gonna for sure hear it. You know what I'm saying?
It lives on the echo of his mind.
That's how I summon ears to the podcast. I dare them fifth dimensionally to be like, you're not going to listen to this shit. And
that happened with someone that was said that they'd never be on this podcast, and you were like, "Excuse me?" Like, challenge accepted. I love that, man.
Oh my god! So yeah, dude, I was hanging out with a real good dude, a comedian named Jeff. He does like musical comedy, and like he like plays guitar, and he like produces comedy shows, and like real fun guy. And he fucked up and said that I couldn't get someone on my podcast, and I was like, you are fucking hallucinating. You might not be able to get him on your podcast. Me and you, two different cats.
Yeah.
Like, I'll fucking absolutely move mountains to do whatever I want. Like, if I want someone on my podcast, I'm going to get them.
Well, the whole joke of this was the map to McConaughey. We were going to call it SUYL, the map to McConaughey. Because we were going to joke about that, like, the last episode of, like, this season was going to be us, like, with Matthew McConaughey sitting in the chair. And then the next one was going to be, like, the road to Rogan. And then we were just going to change it each time, you know? And I just think that that's still fun. I still want Matthew McConaughey or Joe Rogan to sit across from here and drink some whiskey and, you know, have a chat, man.
Smoke a blunt.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
I think it's all possible.
Who was the person that guy didn't think he could get?
Bo Burnham.
Oh,
Wasn't it Bo
okay.
Burnham?
Yeah.
What was the guy who Tony's opening up for right now?
Yeah.
Either way, I have it in my notes. There's like I made a note of it. Like it was a real life challenge accepted moment. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You think I can't? Like fucking, I'll show you. Literally,
Yeah.
I'll show you.
And that's what, and that's what I mean. That's honestly you were working on a podcast before I hit you up, right?
Yeah, I was. So to be very frank, the way that I got into podcasting in the very beginning, you guys know Aaron.
Yeah, we know Aaron.
So.
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, he was trying to get into some podcasting, and I had heard him say some stuff about how, you know, he felt like there was no one else around that was really going to be doing it that he'd be able to draw support from. And so immediately I was like, I can support my buddy. And I started my own podcast, and he did he did a few episodes, but ultimately I wound up carrying it a lot further. And so it was initially meant to be like a support play. It was literally meant for me to just like help out a friend and be there and be in the same industry and be supporting and, you know, be a loving, kind friend. And then, you know, ultimately it's evolved into me like having my own podcast studio and me running fucking 5 podcasts or 6 podcasts, however many it is now, and really enjoying myself with it. So yeah, I'm really happy that it wound up going this way.
Yeah, and I was just like, I Facebook and message him out doing like, let's do a Rick and Morty podcast, and he's like, yes.
Yeah. So at the time, whenever you shot me that message, I was already doing the Kona Hook Companion.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You started out with that one.
And I started doing the Kona Hook Companion because it was something like, first off, I knew I wanted to rewatch Naruto.
Yeah.
Right? Like I knew in the back of my mind that I was going to get around to rewatching Naruto eventually.
And we were hovering in the same shit posting sites.
Yeah. Well, so the way that what instigated you to reach out, but ultimately I was doing the Kona Hook Companion because it was going to be there's 700 episodes of Naruto or so. You know what I'm saying? So there was infinite content, right? Like there would never be an excuse. Like I can always go and review another episode of Naruto. There's always another fucking episode of Naruto. They're literally releasing new Boruto right now on a week by week basis. So like even if I was caught up, I'd still have an episode to do a week. And so I've got like a mountain to climb. So I knew that it wouldn't matter about like getting people in the studio or like coming up with fresh new ideas. Like it was like literally like a simple direction where I knew I could go and there would be like an infinite grind. Like I could go and do a Naruto-centric podcast for the rest of my fucking life if I wanted to. And so it's like bottom bitch for me, right? It's like where I get my practice.
And like
it's got
the
remote.
sharpen that stone.
Exactly.
Sharpen the sword with the stone.
Exactly. It's got the most robust editing process out of all of them right now because I put like you were mentioning earlier how I put the images on the screen that kind of correlate with what I'm talking about, and so there's a lot more that goes into it on the back end to pull it all together as compared to some of the others. So like it's where I like every time I do it, I have to sit there in front of this microphone and work from a thing that I built out and speak for 45 minutes straight, and that's pretty difficult. You know what I'm saying? To like really like keep it going, and like anytime you hear a Kona Hook Companion, it's one fucking take. That's one take, Timmy, bro.
It's amazing. I loved every minute of listening to it. It's one of the things I look forward to is whenever I can sit in and listen to him really talk about the things he loves. Like if you feel that, and that's really what this was about. Like you got to feel it. We put those feelers out we casted that net, and then we got these really great people to come in. We got you, we got Clifton, and then we're just continuing to cast that net. And if that net drags in more people, we're more than accepting to have you sit in and make it as comfortable as possible.
My big thing is that it makes it easy for us because it isn't all a profit play.
Yeah.
Every person who I bring in ain't got to be someone who's going to give me more exposure so that my podcast can be bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets so corporatized and gets so like every move that these podcasters are making has to involve profit. I'm going to tell you right now, whenever Joe Rogan was bringing on Red Band back in the day, it wasn't because Red Band had a platform and it was going to make it profitable. It was because he liked Red Band and they worked well together and they're having fun. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring in people who I like and who I enjoy being around, who I have fucking fun with. It's not about.
People ask me
I don't give a fuck. You know, some of the guys we bring in have some solid platforms. Like, you know, some of these comedians have pretty good little platforms, but that ain't the point. The point is that they're fun guys. Like, if I bring you on a podcast and I don't enjoy it, I'm probably not gonna have you back.
Yeah,
you know, like the point is for me to fucking enjoy myself, bro.
Exactly.
I've had the question why, right? Like, why me? I'm like, because you're interesting, and if we have a conversation, I want it caught on wax so that we can enjoy it, have other people enjoy it and sit in it. Like, people will be like, but for me, really, like me for real, and I'm like, yeah, you for real. Like,
it's like, listen, man, I feel something good whenever we talk.
Yeah.
You feel something good whenever we talk. The world can feel something good whenever we talk. It's literally that simple.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about it. So let's get into something that's not exactly good. You were talking about the direction to spit in, and homegirl decides she's going to hawk a loogie on a corpse and gets thrown into jail. And, you know, I mean, God, that's a lot of hate in someone's heart. Like, she's tearing into him, or this person, after they're already,
I think the first question you have to ask is, what did this lady do?
Or what did that person do?
What happened?
Yeah, what happened in her life to, like, basically make her literally go to jail and have to post bail, like, post bond, like, to get out, you know? And, I mean, I don't think I've ever had that much, you know, anger, despise for somebody. I mean, I've made an ass of myself, but don't get me wrong. I've had people, like, like, shout out to this company. I worked for Gaddy's Pizza, and I got told whenever I was going to quit, you know, this Fortune 500 company in Taylor, Texas, that I was never going to amount to anything. So how am I supposed to not hold a grudge whenever this person tries to talk to me like I'm their best friend? I'm like, don't look in my direction. And then a couple years later, you find out that you're being a child, and you'll be like, dude, I was an ass for no reason. Like, we could have squashed this thing a year ago. Let's shake hands and make sure that none of us ever rub each other the wrong way. I clearly, I'm not going to become a millionaire, or I'm not going to be like me leaving this job didn't make me not become, you know, like, that wasn't going to break me, like this person said. But in all honesty, I didn't have to be ugly to that person. Like, they were clearly in a point in their life where they thought it was okay to tear me down. I shouldn't perpetuate that cycle, you know? So that's where I live now. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some people that I don't particularly want around me, but I'm not going to ever be rude to you or hold a grudge or be angry. But I will say that you did say something that was not a lie. It is fun to hold a grudge. It is fun to see someone and carry that malice.
Yeah, bro, you're living a human life.
Yeah,
like, at the end of the day, like, it's fun to, like, be all divine and, like, beat yourself and, like, try real hard to, like, be perfect all the time. But, like, bro, we're fucking rascals. Like, anybody who tries to act like they're perfect to me, I don't trust.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not cool with being a deviant little shit every here and there, then, like, you're gonna pop one day.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, you know, you have
you're
to.
You're gonna wind up in a U-Haul getting
no one doesn't
kicked out of your mom's house.
No one has no skeletons in the closet, and if you don't, you're gonna come unglued. Like, it's just a natural occurrence.
If you say you don't, you're a liar.
Or if you don't, then, like, you've really been trying way too hard to lead a perfect life, and you're gonna fucking come off the rails and, like, shoot up a school. You know, like, it's just the bottom line. Like, everybody needs to be able to fucking do their little thing that they like, and it's like a healthy thing. Like, it's normal to, like, want to have a thing that's a little naughty and that's a little, like, thing that you can covet, and it's for you and that no one else can have, and that it's like a rush if you get caught. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a normal fucking human function. Don't beat yourself up for doing that.
We live in this, like, weird time where shame is one of those things that isn't really readily available. You know, it's kind of like people aren't getting shamed as much as they used to. So it just seems like it's a little bit more freak flag fly kind of thing. But definitely, I think there are they when you live in this repressed kind of thing, you get the opposite thing. You get like people holding it in, like you said, and they get angry and they turn into this. It's basically this little callus on your hand, and you're just constantly having to like. It gets harder and harder. It's hard to break those things, man. You gotta let yourself be loose. Like I mean, if I didn't have this guy, I'd be wound super tight, man. I never relax. I at least get to spend, like, I know that there's going to be 30 minutes to an hour a day where I'm like, I got this guy here to kind of like tell me like, hey dude, like, let's relax, man. Let's enjoy this space that we're in. And any other time I'm in a smock.
I'm just so zen in the moment that like big problems don't bother me because like between and there were no issues, and that's where I live all the time. And so it's hard for me to like if there's like a big, like if my world's on fire, right, it's chill. But like, God fucking forbid I can't find my glasses in the morning on the way out. I might have a complete nuclear goddamn meltdown. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of a double-edged sword because when you're being zen, you like allow yourself to feel and allow yourself to do, like in my frank opinion, it's healthier to whenever you lose your wallet and you're frustrated about it and you're trying to find it in the morning and you want to yell fuck. Yeah. Than it is to hold it in, right? And so it can be a double-edged sword where you want to be a zen character and do what you want, but doing that out in the world can cause abrasion. You have to like juggle it, right? Well, like I'm pretty fucking bad about just like being completely zen all the time and getting myself into shit and just like dealing with it.
It sounds kind of weird, but my emotional strength has changed so much over time. I think I used to handle like situations way better when I was younger. I think I was more aware of my surroundings. And when I wanted to become a police officer, there was something about being around those people that I noticed things. I didn't carry my emotions so heavy on I didn't carry them on my sleeve. I was kind of like this little I wanted to be a cop. So I was like this little like kind of like want to be cop is what I was, and I kind of kept an eye on things, and I had to still fight.
You're a fucking white knight.
Yeah, exactly, man. And now I live in the
fuck guys like that.
Yeah, and now I live in this like comfortable realm where I'm like,
one thing that stuck out whenever you said that, you lose your wallet and you want to keep that maybe like zen light, but at one point you want to say fuck, right? Yeah. Where the fuck are my keys? One of the most zen lady that we knew from CCD, her name was Miss Valdez. She always took it as a sign from the universe or from God. Like, all right, I can't find my wallet or my keys right now. And this always stuck out to me.
My mom lives like that.
Yes, and she was like, but what if because of that extra 5 minutes I've spent looking for my wallet or my keys, I could have gotten a head-on collision on the highway. Yeah.
That's your good karma. It's your good karma.
My mom lives in that same realm. She's like, hey, like my shoe was on the wrong foot. I can't find my cell phone. Like, I spilled my coffee. Like, I'm going to take 30 minutes to kind of sit back and, like, collect myself because, like you said, man, this could be the day.
It trips people out whenever I tell people that I'm zen and they see me being a hothead because they associate zenness with, like, stillness or calmness.
Or 100% peace.
But it's like, you have to understand that, like, only the guys who, like, practice zen that are totally still all the time are, like, way, way, way far along on their awakening trail where, like, nothing actually bothers them. Like, I'm zen and shit bothers me. So you're going to hear about it because I ain't got time to fucking bullshit. Well, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I'm not to the point where, like, nothing bothers me. I'm not to the point where, like, whenever I lose my wallet, I can be like, well, it's all one. There's no real issue here. In the span of 1 trillion years, what does this matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, and whenever you, like, really start putting the, like, galactic perspective on the situation, it's always kind of laughable. And so, but again, in that moment, you're not out there. You're there in that moment trying to deal with it. And so it's always a balancing act for me, man. I try my best to like be considerate and kind and let myself feel and act how I need to in order for me to alleviate myself of that tension, because I'm not trying to catch a heart attack, and I feel like fucking literally me going fuck lessens my chances of catching that heart attack. So if I sit there and hold it in, my blood pressure is going to go up and I'm going to like pop an artery in the next 30 minutes.
I definitely wouldn't say that there's any manager, like not one person manages this, but I definitely will say that you as a manager is probably the best manager I've had, because you live in this kind of realm of like, get it done, but we don't like, this isn't going to, we're not going to go we live in this like nice space where I helped get him some stuff done on Armchair MMA, and I didn't get a critique of how fast I was doing it or how it didn't get done, but just an appreciation because I was going out of my way to do it. And that's kind of the management style that I can appreciate. It's not, you're not doing this to the time frame or the timetable that I got, but in essence, you're doing me a solid. Neither one of us are managers per se.
Yeah, well, say at the end of the day, I'm not managing you. At the end of the day, I'm asking my business
Yeah.
partner for a favor,
Exactly.
right? And like when you can, whenever you
Precisely.
can get to it, that's like whenever you were able to get to it.
Yeah.
And I know and respect you enough to understand that your priorities didn't necessarily allow for you to get that done in that moment.
Yeah.
And I respect and understand you enough to know that like you're going to get to it when you can, and it's not like an act of malice. Like people get real sensitive and start thinking that like, oh, someone didn't do something that I asked immediately. They're trying to be ugly towards me, and it's like, bro, I'll tell you, I have a big idea. That's whenever you're trying to understand what people are doing and why they're doing what they're doing, you're looking at a pie chart, right, in your brain of like the possibilities, right, and like you see the one that's like 18%, right? It's like clearly the biggest probability piece on the pie chart, right? So you go, that's what it probably is, and everyone kind of carries that like, I'm going to allow that to be the paradigm. That's what was going on, right? But the truth is that it's the 82% of the pie. It landed somewhere outside of where you thought it did. And that's mathematically more liable, right? Like you're gambling on the biggest single pie slice. I'm gambling on anything but that single pie slice. Like if I go, Mikey was trying to be a jerk that day, I know that actually there's a million other things that it could have been, and it's more likely that it's one of those any other million things other than what my brain saw. And I try and suspend that like emotional guerrilla reaction right off the bat, because I understand that like just because it's what occurs to my mind's eye doesn't necessarily mean that's what's probably going on. As a matter of fact, it's most probably not what's going on.
And I got like a genuine thank you, because when I jumped in, I could have done anything that was more available to make my what I needed to get done right away a little bit quicker. But what I did is I made sure that you got your stuff the stuff you needed, which didn't actually work out that way, but I tried at least to make sure that
the effort and the intentions were there.
The intentions
what more
were
can you
there.
fucking ask out of somebody,
yeah, exactly.
dog?
The intentions were there. It just didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. But like when I first got there, like the reason why Josh came first is because he asked for it, it needed to get done, and it was going to help the podcast. And then we can work forward from that logical conclusion. And that's what I love about this place. And that's what we really want to grow and foster here. We want to make it so that people can come here, it's a one-stop shop of like recording, uploading, and really feeling positive about it in a positive space.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking Monkey Mouth Podcast Studios, bro. Like,
Yeah.
period. Like, it's literally that simple. Like, we're up here having a fucking blast. You can come be a part of that, or fucking nah.
Yeah.
Like,
And honestly, I mean,
it's
that's
so
the
simple.
way that
There are two categories of people on the planet: those who are getting in on the action, and those who ain't.
Yeah.
You can come get in on this action, bro. The doors are open, bro. We're having
And
fun.
I live in this like constant state of like anxiety of like, well, don't we need these people here? And then I get to listen to Josh being like, well, fuck those people.
Exactly.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, well, don't we need those people here? Fuck those people. And
So,
that's just
bro,
kind of so
literally-
great.
Yeah.
Listen, you know why I can be like that is because I saw Joe Rogan come up.
Yeah.
Like, I watched Joe Rogan since fucking 2009, whenever he was doing fucking webcams,
Yeah.
and no one was there, and his dog was jumping in his lap and shit, and, like, I understand what the long-term value of consistency is,
Yeah.
right? And, like, as long as we're being consistent and putting out good content and being good guys and letting our, like, God honest inner light shine through, there's no way that people who don't jive with that same energy aren't gonna start conglomerating around it, right? We're putting our flag up
Yeah.
as good guys who lean in the particular directions that we lean, and like the people who identify with that are gonna come and associate with it in due
And
course.
this brings like a great point. Keemstar. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Keemstar.
Entirely unfamiliar,
I
but
know-
like
I
you
know-
can
I know
enlighten
Keemstar, but I
you
live
can,
on
you
the
can
YouTube.
enlighten me and anybody who's listening.
Yeah. I
So-
live on the YouTubes, so I know who Keemstar is.
Keemstar has a reputation of being a piece of shit, but he also he's a drama-based podcaster, YouTuber,
He lives in
or
this. He
whatever.
lives in this strange universe of having to document and record drama, but also living in the same state of wanting to bring eyes to his YouTube channel and living in this drama state with another YouTuber. Right?
Yeah, so he primarily tackles like the Twitch
So he's
Twitch streamer.
So he's agitating beef to leech followers.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's not a very sportsmanlike way to go about.
It
He's
didn't
a
know.
piece of shit,
It didn't know.
It just doesn't feel sportsmanlike to me.
It didn't
It's like
always-
you're.
unethical.
It's like you're. It's not even unethical. It's just you're a bottom feeder. Like if you want to
But
go,
he knows his-
if
he
you
knows
if you
his
want to
spot.
go and like eat
Spot.
the algae off the bottom of boats, go do that. That's how I think of that guy. He's
Yeah.
like a fucking krill who's like eating moss off the
So
bottom
you
of
were there
boats.
for like Leafy.
Well, I wasn't there for like whenever he started. I don't like Keemstar, but a lot of people do. But I do appreciate his grind, man, because
Well,
it just got me thinking about what you said. Like when his first videos when he started out, he was using the webcam on his computer, on his laptop, and the production was just vastly different than where he is at now, where it's like professional.
It's like those brothers.
I mean, bro, the bottom
Brothers.
line is like Mikey was speaking earlier about how every time we do this, we're sharpening our sword. Buddy, look at the difference in the most recent Konoha companion that I put out and the first Konoha companion that I started doing the actual editing on. I've only done like 3 or 4, and they've gotten better and better and better, and that's over the course of fucking 4 videos. Imagine what it's going to be like over the course of 4 years. Eventually, my shit's going to look like, wow, there's a whole production team on it. And it's just going to be me having through the process of trial and error and working at it. Honestly, I'm going to develop me a more proficient and professional workflow. And that's just going to be that.
So this is between me and you because he may know who it is, but like this is like a Phil DeFranco kind of thing. We can live in we can quit.
I know who
school.
Phil DeFranco is. I advertise with
I
Phil
forgot.
DeFranco.
Yeah, that's right. You
I
advertise.
fucking dropped Radix Remedies on fucking Phil
So Phil
DeFranco.
DeFranco was like recording out of his car, but then like he came up. Discovery Plus wanted him. He did news stuff. He did all the things, and he circles back to the Philip DeFranco daily show, but that didn't stop him from trying to make SourceFed and like all these other things work with Discovery Inc. But like I said, you watch that first one. He's using big titty girls on clickbait, and he's using Keemstar kind of sensibility of profiting off of beef. And then as he gets better and better, he starts like, oh, well, I don't have to be.
Well, he just finds his niche.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
don't
all
have
it
to be
is.
a
Is
bottom
he was
feeder
making kind of open-ended content, trying to figure out what was going to work, where he gets the traction.
Yeah.
And as you do that, right, if you have 100 videos and 3 of them have significantly more views than everything else, you start honing in on what that is, and you start sharpening that axe. Figure out, what can I do to recreate this lightning in a bottle, and before long. After years of doing it, he has this like highly refined little product that he's gotten to where he's serving a more and more active and particular segmentable group of potential viewers.
Yeah, and he got his wife Lindsay in on it. He brought people up. I mean, so now you got people there who are still kind of like living in this YouTube realm because of him. You got like Meg and what is it? There's a couple other ones that still kind of live in that Facebook universe because of him, or YouTube universe because of him. Meg Turney, I think, is one of them, and there's a couple more out there.
It just brings me back to like exactly what you guys were talking about with Keemstar or with Filthy. What was that production company that you sponsored with Radix?
Oh, Phil DeFranco?
Philip
Yes.
DeFranco.
You do what you love, right? And you said it before. You do what you love, and from there, like anything that happens afterwards is just icing on the cake. You first start off by doing what you love, and for Keemstar and for everyone else that started, that's what it was. They just, like you said, perfected it, sharpened the.
How did you hear about the Monkey Mouth? Did you tell him, or did you organically hear it?
Oh, this is my boy. Josh.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
So-
because what we had fun with is knowing that like my cousin, I didn't tell him about it, and then it's getting discussed in a barbershop.
Yeah, like
That
type of shit's always real fun.
That was something that felt really good
Yeah.
because
I bet.
neither of the two discussing it knew anything about it.
Yeah, it's just like literally barbershop talk. We're getting the fucking shine. Which also I was gonna say that SUYL's up to 127 views now.
Damn! Congratulations.
Feels
That
good.
feels good.
Yeah, what a
Shout out to
milestone.
Craig Tucker. Right, Craig. That was the Craig.
Yeah,
one.
he's the man who moves the needle.
Yeah,
Craig
he's
Tucker.
and we're getting him back on with his
you ever
brother.
need an extra 100 views on your podcast? Bring Craig on, man. He got you.
We're bringing him and his brother on soon. He's coming in next week.
Yeah, I
Hopefully,
saw that. That'll be a
Yeah.
lot of fun. I'm
Yeah,
real
that's gonna be good
real
times.
enthusiastic about it. I'm also meeting in the next few days. I think actually tomorrow with a guy who Craig referred to us, so that we can start moving and shaking on the podcast stuff too. So
Yeah.
there's always stuff on the back burner, man. Always stuff everywhere.
I went from working at Walmart and having 2 days off and literally just kind of doing this on 1 day a week and just I don't know. I know I've told you that. I know I told Big Pun this, but like I lived in this world of like grinding so hard in the food service industry, putting 150% effort into wanting to crack the food service industry.
On your feet, 10 hours a day, working 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
Putting your heart and soul into it and getting no sense of gratification, no sense of appreciation, no sense of growth spiritually, like it
at all.
No moving up your hierarchy of self-actualization whatsoever.
All. And then we put 65 hard 65%.
I just put whatever effort I can in when I can. I don't even think of it like that.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm a single dad running several businesses, bro. Like there's time when I can do this, and when I can, I do it, and I do it hard.
And that's exactly it. So we'll just say that we put the effort in when it's needed, where it's needed, and we're moving mountains.
Yeah, it's flowing like water, man. Identifying the path of least resistance and crashing into that crack.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to crash in a crack or two, you know.
Makes me think. You remember MXC back in the day?
Was that the one with those like Japanese with the voiceover?
So there was an episode. You remember this show? It was like Wipeout before Wipeout.
Yeah.
And it was like on Spike TV.
The Japanese one?
Yeah.
Where they would like put the
and they had the terrible voiceovers.
Yes,
so there was one. So the whole crashing into cracks comment makes me think of a joke that they did on there where it was construction workers versus porn industry people.
Oh, no.
And the construction industry guy said that his job is to put the caulk in the crack, and they were like, that guy's on the wrong team. That's what you do in the porn industry, fam.
Those guys were so genius and like literally just two guys in a studio being knuckleheads.
You know that they actually did the same thing to Power Rangers. Power Rangers was actually in a whole different language. That wasn't produced in America. There was a group of guys who took that shit, and like the only thing that they filmed in America was like the scenes whenever there was someone speaking in English and you could see their mouth moving.
Yeah.
That was it.
So it's basically the Ranger scenes of it. Any other fighting scene or anything like that was actually from a completely different television show.
Yes. And like the storylines had nothing to do with what they had on making the Power Rangers about. Nothing. Like literally just took someone else's assets that they produced and said different words over the top of it and made their own stories to it, and that was that.
I love it.
Go Power Rangers!
I'm the White Ranger. I'm the White Ranger.
Man, my first crush was actually the Pink Ranger. I don't know.
Bro,
Like,
no one
when I was a kid.
wanted that Green Ranger smoke. That fool brought out a Godzilla as big as everybody else's combined. You don't want that Green Ranger smoke. He hits you with that fucking flute.
That's right, he had the flute.
Yeah, he summons that fucking Mechazilla, bro. That's hard times. You don't need no problem. You don't need those like problems.
The Green Ranger or the White Ranger went off the deep end in the comic books and murked all the Rangers?
Did y'all hear the... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, that's fine. Like that's just comic book. Please.
Oh,
you're A1, man. Keep going.
Did y'all hear what happened like to the original cast of the Power Rangers? Like,
I know one of them killed his wife.
one of them got killed. The Yellow Ranger, the chick, she got killed in a car crash. I forgot the other one. The other one got a lot of hate for being like gay. I think he was the Blue Ranger. I think. Yeah.
He was gay before it was okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That sucks.
Man, it's pretty hardcore, man. Poor kid, poor guy.
Pieces of shit.
Hope those prostate orgasms were worth it, buddy. You know?
Yeah.
American Pie at one finger?
Hope it was worth it.
Wait,
man.
no, that was Road Trip. Road Trip, he was like 3.
Sorry, it got me thinking about that woman who spit on that lady's corpse.
Yeah,
did you guys hear about the elephant? I think it was in India.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You shared that.
I don't know.
Wasn't that the one that got loose?
What happened?
The elephant ended up killing the 70-year-old lady, right? Trampled her to death.
That's not surprising.
Through her body. All right. The surprising part was after the elephant had left, this village takes her back to the village to have like a funeral procession. This elephant comes back, bro. Not only comes back, finds her body, and starts mangling it again. Her dead body.
What did that person do to the elephant? Elephants don't forget. They got a good memory. That woman was fucking with that elephant.
Homie might have been just like mistaking her for another person too. Like some lady in a red dress. Some lady in a red dress shot his fucking daughter one year, and he's just like, the lady in the red dress.
I just imagine like two cops like asking the elephant, can you paint the suspect? He was like his trunk.
Yo, check it. Not only that, I don't know if you guys heard. They came back, bro. This elephant came back with a pack of elephants and destroyed that village. Well, number one, they destroyed that old lady's home. The one that
she was doing something.
Yeah,
damn, bro.
I don't know what the fuck.
So the elephant killed this broad, came back, fucked her up at her own funeral, then came back with his homies and took out her house and was like, that ain't enough. We're going to fuck up this whole village.
It fucked everything up, bro. So what did that lady do to this elephant to deserve all that
All
stuff?
I know is that that's going extinct type of behavior. Like, you're going to fucking get blasted in the face with an elephant gun for action like that. Elephants, y'all really need to learn y'all's place. Like, you might be big, you might be able to crush stuff. Like, we really figured out how to throw rocks really proficiently, and like, we will throw a rock at your face at supersonic speeds and impale it into your brain, and that's going to be
know
that.
what this woman did to what did to this elephant. It's just like,
That bitch brought a hex onto her whole fucking village, bruh. It must. I hope it was worth it. That's all I can say.
You ever watch Ghosts in the Darkness? That's like one of the
Oh my
best
god!
movies
This is
ever.
the elephant equivalent of the Ghost in the Darkness, bro.
So
They need to
much
make
so.
a movie about this. God damn it! It's like, you don't go to this village in India. There are 2 old elephants who live in a cave. Sometimes they rile up their whole tribe.
Oh man, Ghosts in the Darkness is like Val Kilmer's.
They just
A1
get to
movie.
this elephant's cave, and it's just like her body strung up.
He's learned how to tie knots with his trunk.
They actually did studies too, man. I was reading, because I was curious about it, of
It
course.
gets you down that rabbit hole.
This elephant, goddamn. So, anyways, they did studies that elephants who were adolescents or babies remembered the poachers who, would kill their moms,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And from that moment, like you said, an elephant never forgets. They would track these poachers down and kill them.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that was just strictly just elephants or if it was leopards, but the animal kingdom doesn't forget. I know that one story was a leopard who hunted down a hunter who wounded him, ended up going to his house, smelling all the scents that were on his furniture, destroyed his place, waited for him to get home, and ate his ass, killed him.
This is something that I feel like would
What a legend!
would
Exactly.
like come from come from your mouth and just spew out of your toad mind, frog mind. And it was if we were ever to Dr. Dolittle it and be able to talk to animals, they would speak in a language that was so unintelligible to us, because they, so there was a guy who was talking about it that basically said that, like, if you really wanted to speak to an animal, like, it would be an unintelligible language. Like, we pick up things in signifiers that they are able to communicate with each other. But if you were literally to sit down and have, like, a philosophical conversation with them, it would be in a language that is truly alien,
I mean, I think the fun thing of that is to have some type of mechanism in place that bridges that gap in understanding, though. Like,
Right.
you go, and it translates to, I don't like guys in red dresses. You know what I'm saying? Like, the point is to have, like, a translation piece.
Yeah.
What is it? There's, like, a thing in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where they put it in your
there's
ear
a
and
worm.
it eats sound waves and it shits them out in the form of something that you can
Yeah.
understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's, like, if they can dream it up, it's real, right? So, like, something like that could exist.
I absolutely love Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I've seen it like a dozen
It
times.
was like the whale falling from the sky saying, "Not this again" or whatever.
Yeah.
That was so great.
That's
And
the-
a potted plant.
The Rock movie, right?
What?
Dwayne Johnson? No,
No,
man. See,
no,
I'm
no.
thinking about something else then.
It was a whole book. It was a whole book series.
Oh, the
Trying to-
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, bro? You haven't seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the
No,
Galaxy?
man, I'm big on anime, so I've been watching, like, I've been trying to catch up on some of that stuff, but I've heard about it.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is like a real cheeky movie that's that's based on a book. And basically, there are these people who hitchhike across galaxies, and they have a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And one hitchhiker finds his way to Earth, and Earth is set to get destroyed because they're clearing a way for a cosmic highway.
Yeah.
And the hitchhiker takes his, like, best friend who he made on Earth and, like, hitchhikes his way up onto, like, a fucking a bad guy ship, and, like, they go on, like, a whole crazy series of adventures with, like, the galactic governor and fucking all kinds of dumbass shit because Earth gets destroyed, and they're fucking the whole situation's funded by mice.
Yeah.
Funded by mice.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing experiments
Rodents.
on us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole thing was funded and
So the
done
gentleman-
for mice.
Is this a spoiler?
Yeah, that's
And
definitely.
Spoiler alert.
The gentleman who
The goddamn Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is like 20 years old.
yeah, there's no need for
There's no
spoiler
fucking
alerts.
spoilers anymore, bro. We're way out of the fucking 3-week window,
The
bro.
gentleman who wrote that book kept on getting.
By like a couple decades, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Tony Stark dies in Avengers Endgame. In case you didn't know.
The gentleman who wrote that was getting seriously so annoyed by being asked to write a second book that he wrote a second book and then killed everybody in it.
Really?
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
how you end
Yeah.
a series.
Yeah, he was just like, oh.
This is gonna happen on Monkey Mouth. This is like, I'm fucking done with podcasting. Everyone come up here. We're gonna do a mega podcast with everybody.
We're dropping the toaster in the water.
Matthew McConaughey, Joe Rogan.
Dropping the toaster in the water, everybody. We're doing a bunch of mescaline and dropping this or we're doing a bunch of LSD, listening to Jefferson Airplane, and dropping a toaster in the water. Good night, guys.
And we got DMT.
Yeah, that's fucking perfect. That's a fucking great evening.
All right, man. Well, I guess we're done.
Is that a wrap?
Are we done?
Guys,
I don't know.
I think we could keep talking indefinitely.
I can keep going.
We're up to 15 minutes.
Let's-
it seems like a healthy
let's-
place to
yeah,
call it off. We
yeah,
can keep
let's-
bullshitting after the fact.
Yeah.
See, but that's the thing about us is that, you know, we've known each other for so long, and not only that, but our conversations are so genuine that it can just go from like one conversation to another so easily for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
You wanna close it out?
Yep, we'll close it out. So I'm Elias.
This is Joshua.
This is guest speaker Anthony.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.